Hey viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to Sir You're Being Hunted. So, here of course on this map as usual, once again I just seem to be doing a sort of default playthrough of the game at this rate, once more, for the umpteenth time, ladies and gentlemen. So last episode, of course, we were joined not just by Phil, but by another friend, by Connor. We had a big chat there, big sort of 50-minute episode, however long it turned out to be. It was pretty big, it was pretty awesome, actually. Having a third person in the recording session, it was pretty dang good. So, me and Phil definitely we'll be thinking about trying to get him involved in a bit more content here on the channel and all that. Just because, the thing is, me and Phil, have plans for other things we want to do on YouTube, and for that we really want to sort of get Connor involved. It'll be good, because, the more the merrier and all that. So, hopefully you enjoyed that episode. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed actually recording it. It was a pretty damn good one. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that too. And probability is, like I say, I want to, if we can, try and get him involved in a bit more content, whether that's a few more Sir episodes or who knows what, or maybe even other content here on the channel that could also be quite good. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys out there will let me know how much you enjoyed that episode. If at all. Watches people now come back and say, nah, it was fucking shit that episode, I thought it was boring as hell. Nah, they won't say that. You won't say that. There's no way you'd say that, right? You lovely people and all that. Anyway, now that I've got the flattery out of the way, I would just like to talk a little bit about something that's kind of wound me up at the moment recently, and admittedly it's very, very mundane, but I have to kind of blow off a bit of steam about it, because it's really kind of wound me up somewhat. Now, here in the UK at the moment, as I'm going to record this, it's a very muggy and humid day. Thing is, it started out nice and sort of good weather. It was sunny, it was dry, but then about sort of early afternoon, from about 1 o'clock-ish, it started to get cloudier and cloudier, and then it started to spit with a bit of rain, and since then for the remainder of the afternoon the weather's just been crap. And at the moment, looking out my window, which actually has the blinds down at the moment. I don't know why I'm looking out my window when I can't see anything, but basically it's really sort of raining at the moment. It's that kind of really fine, annoying rain that just soaks you through. And I had to go out in that weather a second ago just to, basically take all my recycling out to the bins and just dump all that. Now, the last few weeks at my building where I live, there's been a bit of an issue. Someone in the building is not putting their waste in the correct bins. Just saying that. Now, obviously, as you can guess, we have recycling bins here in the UK. Pretty much every household, every apartment building, everything like that has them. Basically, they have different bins for different types of waste. So, you have cardboard waste, cardboard and paper. You have glass, you have plastic, you have metal for tins and cans, things like that. And, you then will also have some like big municipal bins, which are for all other forms of waste, things that maybe can't go into the sort of the separated bins, anything like that. And in the bin storage, I don't know what you call it, like outhouse, I guess, sort of, would be kind of the word for it. Here at my apartment building, we have two bins for cardboard and paper. We got a bin for tins, metal tins and cans, and we got a bin for glass bottles and jars. And then we have about 3 large municipal bins for everything else. So plastics, big bin bags full of just random waste, things like that, they go into the big municipal bins. Now, the issue is that these last few weeks, what's really been sort of getting on my nerves a bit is that somebody, I don't know who, but somebody in the building has been placing plastic waste into the glass bin, which is wrong. It shouldn't be going in there. And as a result of that, the council bin people, on a couple of occasions, have basically refused to empty the bins because obviously it's contaminated. There's waste that shouldn't be in certain bins, And so when the bin truck comes around to pick up, say, like the glass waste, as a result, they're unable to take it because the bin has got loads of fucking plastic waste lodged in it. And of course, they don't have time to be going through our bin, pulling everything out that shouldn't be in there, and putting it in the correct place. That's not their job. That's us, the residents, who should be doing that. And it's just been annoying me, the fact that this is happening frequently. even after the residents have all been told by the building managers, look, can you please make sure that the waste, the rubbish, is going into the correct bins? And it makes me think, what's the excuse here? Whoever's doing this, why? Why are you doing it? What's the point? Are you just so lazy that you decided you can't be arsed just putting things where they're meant to go? Are you that lazy? The only excuses I'll accept, ladies and gentlemen, are if, say, you're maybe not like a native English speaker and maybe you just don't understand. But it's got annoying. And basically I've taken the liberty of putting some signs up in the building. So I've put one up in the bin storage building, literally right on the wall behind the glass bin, where everybody should be able to see it, which basically says do not put plastic into the glass bin, because that's not where it goes. And I've put another couple of signs up in the sort of main hallways of the building, where the post boxes are located, where everybody should be able to see them, saying pretty much the same thing. So there is no excuse now, other than if you're a non-native English speaker and you genuinely don't understand. The only other excuse that I might entertain is if you're dyslexic and you just misread the glass bin label. I don't know. More than that, those are the only excuses I'll accept. If there basically is some reason as to why you don't understand what's being asked of you, in terms of if you don't understand English, or I don't know, if there's some medical condition, you're dyslexic or you're blind or something and you don't realise, those are the only excuses I'll accept. There's no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure your waste goes into the correct bin. So yeah, that kind of wound me up recently, because god dang it, just why? Because the only other excuse, if it's neither of those excuses, the only other excuse is it's laziness. And that's not an excuse. Okay? I'm just saying that right now. If your excuse is I can't be arsed putting the recycling into the correct bins, then god dang it, you are something else, aren't you? Because it's not that bloody hard. Because the bins are all stored in one place, in one little building, and that's the place where you take all your waste to, and the bins are all right there next to each other. It doesn't take that much effort to take a step to the left or right to whichever bin you need to put the waste that you've got into. There's no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, sorry, I'm having to blow off some steam and all that, because, like I say, it's happened on more than one occasion now, and it's really, really annoying me. It's irritating the shit out of me. That's what it's doing. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And I swear, I'm not the neighbour from hell, ladies and gents. I tend to keep myself to myself, you know. And so, you know, my neighbours probably just don't really see all that much of me. But, yeah, there you go. But, you know, putting that aside, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that that finally gets through to whoever's doing it, to stop doing it. Because the problem is, if they keep doing it, right, what that means is that the building manager is going to have to hire in outside contractors again and again and again in order to keep emptying the bins and cleaning them up. Because obviously the council-run bin men aren't going to do it, because it's not their job, like I said. But of course, to bring in outside contractors, that's going to cost the management firm a lot of money. And of course, who's going to end up getting that cost passed on to them? Well, it's probably going to be us, the residents, isn't it? You know, as part of our service charge that we have to pay each year for the upkeep of the building and its grounds. So of course, that's going to eventually start hitting the residents in the wallet, and they're not, you know, the rest of the residents aren't going to be pleased with whoever's doing it when it starts costing them money. Because they've already had, the building management firms already had to bring in outside contractors on one occasion, at least one occasion, in order to clean them up. So, yes, if you live in an apartment building, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your waste is going in the correct place where it's meant to go. And if in doubt, ask the building management company. They'll tell you where it's meant to go and all that. There is no excuse. That's what I'm saying. Alright, that's enough blowing off steam on my part, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are all doing well, though, wherever you are. Whatever you're doing as you watch this. Whether you're watching the actual gameplay or whether you're just putting this on as a sort of bit of sound in the background or whatever. whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing well. Now, oof. Now the thing is, actually, as I'm going to record this, technically, I am on summer leave from work, so I've got the whole of August ahead of me to be looking forward to, going back up to the north of England with friends and family and seeing how they're all getting on. Probably will visit old Phil and all that, see how he's doing. Just thinking though, have I got any other sort of real big plans for summer? The only sort of big one really is I'm hoping to use a lot of time in August rather, to do some drafting of a chapter for a book that I've been asked to do as part of my academic job. Basically, I've been approached to write a chapter for an academic book to do with ocean governance and maritime affairs. So I'm looking forward to that. Needs to be about 6,000 words. I don't know if I've already mentioned it. Have I already mentioned it? In So You're Being Hunted or somewhere else? I don't know. But I'm going to draft that. First drafts obviously need to be due by October. I say obviously, I don't know why I'm saying obviously. It's not obvious to you guys at all. It's only obvious to me. But, yeah, so I'm going to get the first draft in by October, and that's going to be good. So I've got plenty of time, as long as I, don't procrastinate, which I'm not going to. I'm going to be writing it. Going to be starting off on the draft fairly soon. And, God, I'm kind of spoilt for choice, though, in terms of what I can actually write about, because essentially I've been asked to write about naval affairs, sort of rising powers, things like that. So that's going to be quite interesting to do. There's a lot of topical things I could talk about in relation to states like China, perhaps, things like that. So I'm looking forward to writing that. And I'm thinking that when I start drafting it, I'm definitely thinking I'm going to open it probably nice and in a nice fancy way. Maybe with like a quote from Alfred Thayer Mahan or Sir Julian Stafford Corbett or something, just to make myself sound all very clever. If you don't know who Alfred Thayer Mahan and Julian Corbett were, they were sort of big writers, big thinkers at the sort of turn of the 19th to the 20th century. Big thinkers on maritime strategy, things like that. And they're two of my favourite writers, I'll be honest. As they come up time and time again when I'm doing my sort of reading and research on all maritime affairs and whatnot. So yes, I've got that to look forward to. Book chapter drafting. No doubt I'll talk a bit more about that actually. Maybe, several months later down the line in one of my videos, once there's been some more progress on it, or whatever. Because it would be an interesting topic, actually, to talk about when it eventually gets to a point where it's starting to solidify and actually come together. So that's the main plan, really, for me in the summer, to start drafting and all that. But, of course, in the meantime, work has left me with plenty of things to do here and there. Technically, I do still have some essays that need to be marked, but the deadline for those isn't until September, when technically the new term starts, so I don't need to do those over August. I could, in theory, push those back a bit. Not that I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to maybe stagger them out a bit to make them more manageable. Also, I do apologise if you can hear a drone in the background, it's my fan. As I said earlier, it's very muggy weather at the moment, so it's that kind of horrible sticky heat. It feels sticky and damp and moist. It's just very uncomfortable. You know what us Brits are like. We have an optimum temperature that we prefer, or we prefer that the weather stick to it, and we don't really like it when it starts fluctuating around all over the place. You know what we're like. We complain when it's good weather, we complain when it's not good weather. We complain all the time, we complain about everything. Okay, Mr. Landowner. I'm just going to give you a wide berth. Oh, God. I'm getting gas coming from my bottle of water that I'm drinking. You think that you wouldn't get gas from that, but it's just bubbles maybe, who knows? Who knows? Alright, should be a clean run at this point, shouldn't it? I hope. Don't see me please, Mr. Hunter Robot. Yeah, over the hedge, there we go. Lovely. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, as we close in on the standing stones, I think we'll wrap up. God, Jesus, that plosive on that, on that up that I just said. Just that emphasis on the P sound. Wrap up. Like that. Sorry, that's probably blasting your eardrums out, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, Facebook and Twitter links are down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. More than that, Thank you for listening to me blow off steam about friggin' recycling woes and all that. Other than that, hope you'll join me next time. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, is that like a special event card? I think, square even. Okay, it's funny how I think it has to like do this, use up all the squares in order to get to where it needs to be. Oh, we got an event with Rantaro. Hang on, is there a way to like hide the text box if you wanted to see both sprites? This is the what's it called? Chandler Beach, DR2. I mean, obviously it's Channel of Islands, so DR2's setting. No, this island has beaches too. Beaches as far as the eye can see, just like a tropical island. I still don't remember what Rantaro's voice was. I should have checked my series before I started playing. Yeah, this one is different from the one we arrived on, but I dig its ambience. I was playing volleyball over there. Come on, we should go join some. Sounds good. But first, Kaido, wasn't there something you wanted me to do?